This is the Seb Neo X. It has a bunch of different bag configurations, and I get questions all the time asking me about them. So I'm gonna walk you through what your choices are, and then you can test them out and see what best fits your shooting style and your stock. Let's go take a look. And this is it, the Neo X. And there are more of them on the market than ever. Seb has been making a huge push to get them out there. And as a result, one of the #1 questions I get over on my Patreon is, what bag should I use, or what bags are available? So I'm gonna walk you through that. But first, let's understand why using a sandbag or a deformable bag is so important on an F-Class, F-Open front rest. And that's because it's the law now. Starting in January of 2024, you are no longer allowed to have anything other than a deformable contact, if you will, so sides or bottom, with your stock. So gone are the days of felt, Delrin, hard plastic rollers, like plenty of things that you've seen on my channel before and things I used to shoot. None of those are allowed anymore. So only a deformable bag, meaning you have to be able to push into it. It can't be filled till it's, hard as concrete. It must be deformable, and it must be contacting all the sides. You can't have some bag and some, other material. It has to be all deformable bag. And if you're not, then especially at a big match, you could definitely be protested and potentially disqualified for having something that does not meet the rules. So let's dig into the options. I'm going to start with what is my personal favorite. And remember, that doesn't make it the best. It just means it's what I happen to like shooting with. And that is the standard one-piece bench rest bag. Now, this is going to be fillable on the bottom and on the sides. And I like that because if I want to choose a different material, I can put something like a heavy sand in the bottom and maybe a playground sand on the side, or vice versa. I've played with a lot of different combinations with all of these bags, and there's just certain ways that I like setting up a bag because of how it shoots with my particular stock and my shooting style. And that's gonna be different for everybody. But I like the one-piece bag. Now, the one-piece bag is going to simply slide in, and then we are going to take the Neo X ears here, and they are going to go on the sides, and they are going to apply pressure via this pressure screw right here. So you're going to tighten this, and it's going to apply pressure against the side of the bag right here. It's pretty simple and it's pretty foolproof. One of the things that's nice about having that 3-piece setup is that you don't have sand that is sagging or pulling into the bottom, leaving the top, kind of loosey-goosey. I can fill the sides how I want them. I can get it where it's, just a little squeezable, and then I can get the bottom exactly how I want it as well. Then again, depending on the material I'm putting in there, I use a combination of sand and Spexlite, which is a polyfill, leaving it legally deformable, but it happens to work really well for my setup. I know other people that do nothing but heavy sand or playground sand or some other combination, but that is going to be the one-piece bench rest bag here. Now, another option utilizing the Neo X ears is the 3-piece Seb option, and that's going to be a bottom bag, which is fillable, and it is divided in the middle, so you'll fill both sides, and that makes it nice because you're not going to end up with a high side because the sand all shifts. It keeps the sand on each side. That's going to slide in. Keep in mind, not all of these bags have sand in them right now, so if they look a little goofy, it's because there's no sand in it holding them open. But that's going to be your bottom bag, and then he has these little side bags. And you can see here, they're not very big, they're just enough. You can fill them with sand from the back, and then they are going to slide into the bottom section of the Neo X ear here, and then we can put them on. One thing you'll notice is they have this groove on the bottom. If you look, you can see there's this groove, and that groove is set to go over, so it fits over the bottom sandbag here. And that is important because that allows you to have the best compressibility against your stock. And you can see this just slides over, and those are going to just fit nicely so that your stock can sit right in there and do what it needs to do. So that is the Seb 3-piece option. Now, a little I don't want to call it a trick option, but if you happen to be transitioning from a Mini X and you are maybe keeping the Mini X as an extra and you want to try it out, you can actually take the Mini X ears and you can slide them on, and you can either use the Mini X bottom bag, which I actually don't have one here, but the Mini X bag will slide right in and these bags work perfectly, or you can utilize one of his Neo X bags. However, it takes a little bit of work to use a Neo X bag because they're very rigid on the side, and that is going to make it tough for this non-scalloped ear to get over. So when I do that, I actually use a 2.5-inch Neo X bag, which he has available. And that is going to allow me, once again, to have the best combination of ear being able to ride over the bag so that my rest can fit in and I can compress it from the sides properly. So that is just a different way of doing a 3-piece. It's honestly just going to be for people who have maybe a Mini X sitting around and you know, they got the factory from the factory ears, which are going to be the next one I show you, and maybe they don't like them. But the next option is going to be these L bags, and you can see that this is just literally an L, so it's just an L-shaped bag there. And those just slide up into the Neo X ears again, and then you are going to slide that onto the base, and these are really easy to fill and use. And these are what come with it because they're probably the most well balanced for most people. And this here, again, is just going to give you a bottom rest and a side rest all in one on the sides. So this is just a 2-piece bag option. Your stock, again, is just going to fit in there. And I believe this, at least as of today, is what the Neo X's are shipping with. So that is the 2-piece option. So you've seen a 1-piece option, you've seen several 3-piece options, and then you have seen a 2-piece option. Now, I'm gonna just kind of tell you there are a couple other non-Seb options that you can look at. The first that I'm gonna show you here is using an Edgewood 1-piece bag. So very similar to the Neo 1-piece, but just built a little bit different. And again, a lot of people who do F-Class have a number of bags sitting around. So if you got the factory L-shaped bags and maybe you want to try something different and you have an Edgewood 1-piece bench rest bag sitting around, slide it in and give it a try. And another very popular option is going to be the F-Class Products 4-piece bag. And that is going to be a 2-piece bottom adjustable bag with the 2 side bags. And that is going to allow you to move the bottom bags in or out to perfectly fit the bottom of your stock while allowing the compression from the sides. And again, 100% legal, deformable bags in all cases. So that is, just in a nutshell, the bag options, at least that I'm aware of. It certainly doesn't mean it's the only ones that are out there. It just means it's the most common ones that I have seen on the line. But I think as long as you play with some of those options, whether it's the 1-piece, the 2-piece, the 3-piece, or a 4-piece, you're gonna find something that your gun tracks well in. Maybe it doesn't torque as much for you because of how you get behind the gun, and it's just gonna give you that consistency that you're looking for. And until you have that, I'm just gonna tell you, keep trying bag configurations because the bag can make a big difference in how your particular stock and shooting style affect your targets. With that, I hope you can get out and shoot. Have a good one. We will talk later.